Hi, I am Patrick Dwyer, and I am an autistic graduate student at UC Davis. The transition into the university is major change, right? Autistic people, we often thrive on predictability. So I think it's really valuable to spend some time exploring the physical environment of a university campus before you start, so that it is nice and familiar and comfortable when you're ready to start. There are organized tours that you can have at most universities and colleges, and they'll show you around, but you'll probably be in a group of other people. You'll probably be moving fairly quickly. It might be a bit overwhelming. I think it's good to go on your own and really explore the environment. One really obvious thing to look at when we're at the university is an actual classroom. That's sort of what we tend to think of when we think of the university. And I think that most instructors would be pretty open to having people audit an introductory class or something. So that's what I did when I was just getting ready to start at my local university.
Crawling up this scaffold to reach its final destination, and then how we use epigenetics when we think about these mechanisms playing out in the sense.
Right now, as you can see, I am standing outside the Student Housing Administration building. In a few moments, we'll be going inside. Student housing is important if that's where you're going to be living. You don't have to live there if you don't want to. I was just living at home, which actually worked pretty well for me. I think it's really important that if you're going to be living in a space for a year, that you know what you're getting into, that you do what you can to make sure that you have the best experience possible there. What about if somebody needs a quieter sort of space? What if, it's an autistic person with sensory sensitivities? How would they go about trying to secure that quieter environment?
Well, realistically, college campuses aren't the quietest of places.
This is true, I suppose, yes.
Different campuses have different ways of addressing that need. Here at UC Davis, for example, we have some floors in residence halls which are quiet floors, which essentially means that students are expected to keep it down between certain hours.
And right now, I am outside the Student Disability Center at UC Davis. Now, all colleges should have a campus disability office. This is principally responsible for coordinating academic accommodations, assistive technology, exam accommodations, extra time on tests, note-taking, all these sorts of things. One important thing to keep in mind as we're thinking about a campus disability office is that it is on us to initiate contact. So we are now at the University Library. A library is not just a place where one can find books. It's also a place that you can study to fill time between your classes, where you can meet other students in study groups. If you have some sensory sensitivities, then you'll definitely want to know that some parts of the library are quieter than others. Most university libraries will have some shared study areas where you can hear a lot of students talking, and those tend to be on the lower floors. Whereas if you go to the upper floors, you might see some silent study areas, and those would be quieter spaces, more sensory friendly. One thing to think about is food. Food outlets can sometimes be among the noisier spaces on campuses. If you do some exploration and looking around, you might find some places that are somewhat quieter. You can also explore corridors. I generally find that corridors outside classrooms are very noisy, whereas hallways in office space can be quieter. There are gardens often that can be nice spaces to relax in between classes. Really, there's no end to the different areas we can explore on a campus. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. Please do comment if you have any suggestions, if you want to share some of your own experiences around this, if there are thoughts you have that I didn't cover, ideas, whatever it is, we want to hear it. So please do add those comments.